So let's get rolling. My name is Matt Van Dyke. I'm the Director of Consulting at Stoneridge Software for our CRM and our Power Platform practices. I've been in the Microsoft space and the consulting space for a long, long time. And as I tell everyone on webinars and my team, we are lucky to be a Microsoft partner and lucky to work in the business application space because it is so transformative and so much fun. And we're going to talk a lot about some of the real fun, transformative stuff Microsoft's cooking up with AI today. So, and we are privileged and lucky to have Deepa with us today. Deepa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Matt. My name is Deepa Bansal. I'm a PM within Dynamics Customer Service. So I'm really excited to speak to you all about our exciting Copilot features.
Good. Thank you, Deepa, again for joining us. And so we're going to start off baselining a little bit today for those of you that may not know much about Copilot. I think most people now, Copilot's been around, branded as a product for about a year. So I think most people have heard of it and know a little bit about it. But really it is about the way I love the way Microsoft is branding Copilot, but also integrating it with all of their products. They're injecting AI through Copilot, especially into all of their business applications. And today we're going to focus on how that's integrated in Dynamics for customer service. But really, it's about AI for everything you do. And I love that concept. And I love this sort of, I don't know what this statement is, a vision statement or mission statement around Copilot, but it allows you to work smarter, be more productive, boost creativity. That's my favorite part of the statement, is working more creatively and stay connected to the people and the things in your life. It's just a really powerful statement. And in essence, it is. I love this concept of it being an AI companion that works everywhere you work and intelligently adapts to your needs. And I like to say, Copilot, some people think it's like it changes Dynamics. It doesn't really change the architecture or the functionality of Dynamics itself, but it's there as that companion to help you use it better, to be more productive in Dynamics. So it's a companion. Do you have any perspective, baseline perspective you want to add on that conceptually?
You're 100% right, Matt. We're not looking to replace agents. It's really more to give a helping hand to agents, be their co-pilot. So just to make all agents into super agents, and to increase customer satisfaction.
Super agents, the word of the webinar. All right, so we're gonna hit deep up with some questions, some prepared questions. We've got some good ones, but continuing on sort of with a baseline type question, can you please provide sort of a 2-minute summary? There's a lot of questions out there about Copilot for customer service versus Copilot in Dynamics 365 for customer service. And then maybe some important baseline facts you feel people should know about Copilot for customer service in Dynamics customer service as a general capability.
Yeah, that's a great question, very common question. Unfortunately, our naming does not make it easy. Copilot for service and Copilot in customer service is very similar. But we're going to be focused, as you said, Matt, on Copilot in Dynamics customer service. So Copilot in Dynamics customer service brings generative AI functionality to the agent workspaces within Dynamics. So within Microsoft's first-party CRM. Copilot in Dynamics Customer Service is actually included in the Dynamics Customer Service Enterprise license. So there's no additional cost for the Copilot functionality within Dynamics. So
it's there, it's now, you can use it.
Exactly. But we have actually a separate license for Copilot for service. So that's completely separate than Copilot in Dynamics Customer Service. Copilot for service extends Copilot functionality to Outlook and Teams. by connecting your CRM data to Outlook and Teams. Also, it brings generative AI functionality to third-party CRMs. You'll see here we connect on this slide that we connect out of the box to ServiceNow, Salesforce, and Zendesk. So in addition to bringing Copilot, connecting your Dynamics data to Teams and Outlook, we bring generative AI functionality to third-party CRM. So that is a high-level difference between Copilot in Dynamics 365 and Copilot for Service.
That's such a, a lot of questions about the differences there and how that falls. But for those Dynamics, we have so many customers using Dynamics 365. That's a good distinction. Like the for customer service extends it to Outlook and Teams as well, but also extends it to those people that are interested in just Copilot and maybe ServiceNow users. I won't
exactly.
say the other competitors. Good, that's great. Thank you for that distinction. I know that's a big question. So another question. A lot of information out there about what Copilot is, but with our focus today on Copilot in Dynamics, what do you think the most impactful features are now that people can use now of Copilot in Dynamics 365 customer service?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's really two overarching features for that are most impactful of Copilot for Copilot in Dynamics customer service. The first category is summarization. And the second category is issue resolution. So what we could do is watch a quick video that provides a high-level overview of the functionality, and then we'll do some live demos and do more of a deep dive into the key features. So I will play this. Let me know if you can hear.
Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service transforms the agent experience using generative AI. Enrico is a customer service agent at Contoso. He notices an email from Claudia, a customer that has purchased the Smart Brew coffee machine. To get him up to speed, Copilot has summarized the case based on the case details and timeline activities, like emails, conversations, and notes. So Enrico doesn't have to read through the whole case. Usually, responding to this kind of complex issue would take Enrico several minutes of searching through multiple knowledge articles, finding relevant sections, and then writing up a response to the customer. Today, he is using Copilot, which leverages Contoso's knowledge sources and helps him draft the perfect reply with just one click using generative AI. With Copilot, Enrico doesn't have to spend time searching or typing. He can even provide custom prompts for the most complex cases. He reviews the response. The draft looks great. He copies it over and sends it out, feeling confident that his customer is receiving the prompt, friendly service they deserve. As a customer service agent for Contoso, Enrico engages with customers across channels. He sees an incoming call from Claudia, Contoso's customer, who has been engaging with a chatbot on Contoso's portal. Copilot has already summarized the conversation between Claudia and the bot, so Enrico can get a jump start on the conversation without having to read through the whole transcript. Rather than searching on his own, he turns to Copilot for help, which uses generative AI to surface the latest information that is typically found across Contoso's vast set of internal documents. Copilot only uses knowledge articles that have been filtered by Contoso as specific to the business unit. He can also check the source to verify or make any edits to the response if needed. Satisfied, he decides to respond to the customer. Even as a new support agent, Enrico feels empowered with the knowledge of his entire organization to resolve issues quickly. Renee, Contoso's manager, gets a dashboard view of analytics that includes Copilot-related insights. It shows the number of daily active users, the number of responses generated by Copilot, and percentage of responses actually used by the agents and their aggregated ratings on the quality of the responses. She can also get an insight on Copilot's impact to the business by comparing the average handling, case resolution, and email response times when Copilot is and isn't used. Setting up Copilot is also made easy via the admin tools that provide an intuitive user interface. Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Service personalizes customer experience across channels, makes the agent's work effortless, and optimizes service operations to run the business fast and lean.
Enrico is now a super agent. That's a great video.
So what we'll do is we'll just jump into a live demo. I have a trial environment spun up, so I will pull that up.
Because I know those videos move pretty fast.
Great. So I'll first demo summarization, and there's a few different summarization features within Copilot in Dynamics Customer Service. As Avidya mentioned, we have case summarization, timeline highlights, which summarizes the key highlights, as well as conversation summarization. So we'll first focus on case summarization. And the advantage of case summarization is that it helps agents get basically a 60-second summary of a case. And this is especially useful when cases are transferred to another agent or to facilitate wrap-up of cases. So if I click here, you'll see that the case summary is generated on demand. And so instead of me having to go through all the case information, this summarizes. And by default, case summary leverages key case fields: case title, customer, case type, subject, case description, product, priority. But an admin can configure the specific case fields they need within CSAP, the Customer Service Admin Center, just to ensure that the case summary captures the most important context for their organization.
That's a configurable thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think I'm curious. I have a question about that. You showed a little bit of the omni-channel capabilities, and in fact, I'll say our webinar 3 in this series we'll focus on some of the omni-channel capabilities of Customer Service Workspace. But if a case is created or transferred from a chat, and then that chat transcript is sent over, can that summarization also include information from some of the chat?
Absolutely. Yep. It's like you said, it's highly configurable. So you can determine what key information you want to include in the summary for your agents.
But that's really powerful, because when I watch these videos and see this, you can just imagine how much more personal interaction can be when Copilot's there doing some of the work for you, surfacing, hey, if you know already in a summary here how this case was started through a chat and some of the issues, you're way ahead, and you can just be overall a bit better listener, I think, and make a more personal connection.
Absolutely. Another item that the video covered is the highlight summarization. So again, with all Copilot features, you'll see an icon, Copilot icon. So you click to expand, and it generates this on demand. And so the timeline highlight summarizes key developments from various activities, such as emails, notes, tasks, appointments, phone calls, and conversations. So you'll see here, it provides a high-level summary of all the key activities along with the date.
That's really, I didn't know that was a feature. No more scrolling through long timeline records. That's fantastic.
Exactly. This is actually a new feature we recently rolled out. And the other feature that I'll quickly touch on is conversation summary that the video highlighted. So if a customer service organization is using first-party voice or messaging channels, Copilot summarizes the conversation on demand and in real time. Again, it's highly configurable. So in the Customer Service Admin Center, we released a new feature where an admin has the ability to configure the format of the conversation summary. Great. So what I'll do is, so we just went over summarization features. The next set of features is what I would classify as issue resolution. So if I go into the back here, you can see that we've actually enhanced our email functionality. So you can draft an email just again by clicking draft with Copilot, this icon, or you can go back to your Copilot side panel and draft an email. What is great about this draft an email is that, again, you can leverage natural language to outline what exactly you want Copilot to draft. So we have preset prompts that you can empathize with feedback, suggest a call, request more information, but I'm going to describe what I need. So I'm going to say, resolve customer's question with empathy. And I will select create a response, and you'll see that it's generating. And just like the video, you can, after it's generated, you can see the sources that are included. So Copilot searches across published knowledge articles and also across external sites configured in CSAP. So you see that it generates an email, so you can copy it and paste it and make any edits that you need before sending it to the customer.
That's fantastic.
And then we have an ask a question functionality, and this is basically supposed to be an agent assistant, irrespective of what CRM record they are on. And the knowledge chat, the ask a question, again, allows agents to use natural language to ask information that is found in their knowledge articles that they have configured. And so just like Email Assist, Copilot searches across published knowledge articles that are stored in Dataverse. And it's important to know that Copilot respects the permissions that an admin sets. So for example, if an agent does not have access to a certain set of knowledge articles and they're relevant to the prompt that the agent inputs, Copilot will not surface results from knowledge articles the agent does not have access to. They will only surface results that an agent has access to. And we've also released filtering in this, and we'll share the link to the release plan that are published. But filtering really helps large organizations that have multiple lines of businesses agents within certain sets of lines of businesses can retrieve content that is only applicable to their line of business. And again, this is to ensure that Copilot is surfacing the most relevant content to your different set of agent groups.
And that adds just an additional layer of granularity in terms of segmenting the data that's coming back.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. And I think that's an important, we've been talking to a bunch of customers that are starting to use Copilot, and we're finding if you haven't invested in your knowledge sources, that's one of the key things to do to prepare for Copilot, your knowledge bases and your external sources. What are some of the other common external sources that people use in Copilot, with Copilot in customer service?
Yeah, so Copilot allows, within the admin center, admins can configure external sites. So let's say your some of your knowledge content is stored within, Bing.com, or that's a bad example, but like coffee.com, you can actually point Copilot to that. And as long as the site can be indexed by the Bing API, Copilot will surface that data.
Or even a blog site you might have.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. That's a good, even a blog site, and it will surface that data for the drafting the email.
And isn't that the essence of Copilot? Like it gets smart because of the data you point it to. It's not just automatically smart. And that's where you can really make it smart. Most people see ChatGPT and they get their information from the internet. But this is where AI becomes smart for your company's specific data.
Exactly. That's a really good point. And I want to also emphasize the point that you made before, that it's directly dependent, the quality of Copilot responses in that issue resolution bucket, like the email assist and ask a question, is directly proportional to the quality of your sources that are used to ground your data. So quality in, quality out, garbage in, garbage out. So yes, it's really important to establish the proper data governance procedures to proactively update your knowledge articles that are used to ground Copilot.
Okay. Well, thanks for the live demo, Deepa. That's fun to see and discuss real rather than these quick videos we're used to. Okay. So this is another common question that's out there, is how is Copilot impactful out there in the real world? So can you share a story or two about some impactful use cases you've seen for Copilot and Dynamics 365 customer service?
Yeah, I love this question because I also I get to highlight our tight collaboration with our internal Microsoft support engineers. So our internal Microsoft support engineer group is comprised of thousands of support engineers, and we partnered very closely to get their feedback. And they've implemented Copilot in Dynamics customer service. So we're able to really dog food our own products with our internal support organization. And we've seen so far very compelling metrics. In one business unit, Copilot increased the number of cases in chat managed by support agents by 9 to 12%. So basically, the efficiency of agents increased. We saw a direct correlation between agents using Copilot and their efficiency. They're able to handle a larger workload of cases. Several businesses observed Copilot to decrease the average handling time for agents handling the chats cases by 12 to 16%. So essentially, I hate it when I'm on the phone with the customer service agent and I have to get transferred to another agent. Well, because of Copilot, we decrease that need of transferring and just decrease the average handling time. And so that also not only increases agent satisfaction, but the end customer satisfaction as well.
Yeah, and what pops into my head there is, especially with omnichannel nowadays, agents are sometimes being asked to handle multiple cases at the same time, or they've got one they're on the phone with one and they got another one coming in via the chat. And I know that can be limited, but if something comes in on the chat and Copilot starts to get the answer for you. Oh, I recognize this question. I can answer this quickly. And the agent's just like bam, bam, bam response. It just helps overall productivity in terms of it's that companion you got sitting next to you as an agent.
Absolutely. And Copilot decreased the need for expert help to resolve a case by 13%. So we like to say Copilot turns junior agents into super agents, really all agents into super agents. And with call centers, contact centers, oftentimes there's a high turnover rate for like the first line agents, and it really equips these junior, especially junior agents, with the information they need to really solve complex cases by having knowledge at their fingertips through Copilot.
Well, this is a great case study. I love the dog food. I want to kind of bring it back to some of the common questions. We get a lot of questions about how do you roll it out, and it goes back to that question. Well, it's here now. You can use it if you have the licensing. And I've been reading some good examples to try to answer that question to customers better. And I see some really good stories about pick 3 junior agents, pick 3 senior expert agents, and Copilot with those 6 people and see the results, see how the improvement, it'll make your senior agents better and your junior agents super agents, like you said. And I think that's just a really good, it resonates as a really successful story about how to, first of all, make Copilot effective, as we mentioned, for you as your company with your data. You can kind of test it first with some agents. And I just love that. Any additional comments there in terms of rolling it out and piloting and testing Copilot?
Yeah, that's a great recommendation to first test out Copilot with a small pilot group of agents, just to get comfortable with Copilot features, get their feedback. And also one thing, as I mentioned, there's 2 main features: issue resolution and summarization. Summarization is a super quick win. It's a low-hanging fruit. It takes the data already in your CRM and basically just summarizes it. So that's a really good set of features to first implement, because there's not much upfront work from a customer to enable this. Whereas,
very good advice.
Whereas issue resolution, it's very impactful to provide knowledge at the hands of agents, to be accessed very easily by agents, but it does require upfront investment just to make sure your knowledge articles are up to date. You have the appropriate governance processes in place to proactively update your content. So typically we advise customers first start with summarization, get comfortable with generative AI, Copilot, and then as you're piloting, start to curate those knowledge articles to set yourself up for issue resolution features.
That's great advice, Deepa. That's good advice for me that we can share with our customers. Good. Well, another one of the big questions out there and big fears with Copilot and AI in general. Again, this all took off and got crazy when ChatGPT came out, and I think a lot of the fears stem from that. But one of the biggest concerns is data security. So can you provide sort of an overview of how data security works within Copilot in Dynamics 365?
Absolutely. And this is actually true across all of our Copilots within Dynamics and Power Platform, and actually even M365 Copilot. So we leverage Azure OpenAI services, and it's fully controlled by Microsoft. So Microsoft hosts the ChatGPT OpenAI models within our Azure environment. And so the Azure OpenAI AI services does not interact at all with OpenAI. And the reason why this is so important is because, all the data processing occurs within Microsoft's cloud boundary. So this is pretty key. We don't integrate or interface at all with OpenAI, large language models. Another, key points are your prompts. So what you tell to Copilot and any inputs into Copilot, as well as the responses from Copilot, is not available to other customers. It's not being used to train any third-party products or services like OpenAI models. And it's not being used to train or improve Microsoft AI models unless you opt into optional data sharing within PPAC, the Power Platform Admin Center. And by default, that data sharing setting is off. So an admin has to manually go in and say, I want to opt into optional data sharing. And so just at a high level, Copilot data, along with all of your business data, is protected by the most secure enterprise controls.
So a lot of these scare stories about if I use AI, company data is now out in our competitors' hands. It's just not true.
Exactly. Yep.
At least with Microsoft.
Yes. And we've published a lot of assets. One is an FAQ about Copilot data security and privacy, and this FAQ applies across all Copilots in Dynamics and Power Platform. We have a great article that explains how business data is accessed from a user's context. We have a video that highlights how we've enabled Copilot to interact with business data securely. We have a high-level Copilot architecture diagram, and as always, you can go to the Trust portal to understand what certifications, regulations, and standards are there. And we understand that often that information, those certifications are needed for customer cybersecurity reviews, and all that is available within our Trust portal.
Thanks for compiling those assets. That's very helpful. If people want to get information on that or access to those, please feel free to reach out. That's very helpful because it is, again, it's probably the biggest concern out there with people being hesitant to dive in or pilot Copilot or AI. Is that just that overall fear, data security? Good.
Great.
So tell us a little bit about what's on the roadmap. I love, a lot of people don't love, but I love, seems like every day new features are coming out. Turn them on and off. But what are some of the things we have to look forward to that you guys have cooking up?
Yeah, that's a good question, and you're right. We've never seen so much rapid development and innovation since launching all the different Copilots. We're deploying features really every month. And so I would classify key enhancements in 4 different themes. We're continuing to expand the language support for Copilot. Right now, it's officially supported with 10 languages, but now we have this on-demand translation feature where agents can translate in any language response that Copilot provides, or even let's say they're in a chat with the customer, there's an on-demand translation. Because we understand, especially large organizations, they operate globally in nature, and they have agents handling customers in all different languages. So we're continuing to invest in that area. As I shared before in the previous slide, we understand that there's data security concerns and the need for organizations to have their legal and cybersecurity departments to evaluate Copilot. So we want to help, and we've tried to provide as much transparency and information. So we continuing to publish blog posts, and we've invested time to publish FAQs, like more information about Copilot data security and privacy. Another cool feature is improvements within our knowledge management in the area. So as we spoke before, Matt, we said that Copilot response is directly dependent on the quality of the knowledge sources that are used to ground Copilot. And we recognize this is a significant pain point for organizations. Like maintaining knowledge articles is very costly. And so we've taken, we're continuing to invest in this area, but one enhancement we just rolled out is the ability to create a knowledge article from a case resolution.
Ah, yes. Convert to knowledge article.
Exactly.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Well, especially if Copilot's answering the question for you and documenting it in the case record, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we just rolled this out, and we're going to you'll continue to see more enhancements in this area because we recognize this is a big challenge for organizations, is the maintaining knowledge articles. So, as you think about your knowledge journey, I guess you're making decisions. We definitely recommend investing in the knowledge article functionality within Dataverse because we're going to keep on delivering key enhancements to make maintaining knowledge articles easier.
And assume that leverages somebody in Dynamics, at least some of the draft mode. If you turn it into a knowledge article, it puts it in draft mode and someone can edit it and clean it up, etc.
Exactly.
Categorize it properly and everything.
Exactly.
Good.
And then the last main, theme is extensibility. So, and the need for customization. So, when we walk through Copilot in a live demo, we mentioned that that the admin has the ability to configure Copilot to meet their specific needs. So for example, for case summary, you can remap other fields that you want to surface within the summary. And for conversation summary, you can outline the format for the conversation summary. So we're continuing to add more configuration options, including the data mapping, filtering, just to give customers that flexibility to customize Copilot to their needs. And then extensibility. So we just rolled out in preview the ability to configure plugins to Dataverse. So you can connect Copilot functionality to other Dataverse entities. Okay. But we're continuing to invest in this area of extensibility. So whether it's within Dataverse or even to external systems. So stay tuned because this will be a big area of investment too, is extensibilities.
That's a big question we hear a lot. We hear more about these plugins, and that's essentially the classic CRM Dataverse plugins that can extend out to other sources. Same kind of approach for plugins. I would imagine there's a lot going on there. The next extensibility, making it more configurable, making it more powerful through an admin.
Exactly, and like as we discussed before, we're moving fast, and so we're constantly releasing updates. So the best way to stay up to speed is to check our release plans that are available. And then, definitely funnel feedback. Now Matt and I are closely connected, so funnel your feedback through Matt, yes. And he'll get in the hands of Microsoft. So, we want to hear your experiences using Copilot and any feedback you have.
Well, that's a great comment. Before I even say thank you, I've learned a lot through the years how immensely important you as a product team are. It's not that classic product team that sits behind the scenes, writing code. very involved in the marketing team, very involved with the sales team, and very thankfully involved with us as partners. So I extend Deepa's invite. We love solving problems, but if we can or if we need better advice, that's why people like Deepa are out there to help and to support partners and to support customers. So thank you for doing that today with us, Deepa. Very informative stuff. Let's stay connected. Hope we can do a follow-up